Stand up. I know you're tired. I know things aren't perfect. Maybe far from. I know what's before you seems larger than life. All of that can be true. I'm telling you to stand tall as you push through because you're capable. I'm telling you endure with an exclamation point. I'm telling you that the hellscape before you is an opportunity to make a statement. I have a little anecdote for you. Another one of those examples of fleeting moments acting as doorways to something greater. Is a little piece of code to understanding life in totality. So, a little bit of background. I'm training for a High Rocks event coming up here in Houston. Something a little bit different. It's fun, it's challenging. One of those things that, makes it special is the intensity. You have to really push yourself when you're maxed out, when you're well into zone 5. It asks a lot of you. And so, my trainer adjusted the next 6 weeks of our training to focus on just that type of interval intensity. And the other day we were in the gym doing some of those high intensity lifting circuits. This particular circuit had deadlifts, squat to shoulder press, weighted lunges, and you repeat it 5 times. But here's the kicker, right? Here's the thing. After each of those 5 circuits, he'd put the treadmill to a 10-degree incline, set the speed to 7.5, and you have to run for 2 to 2.5 minutes, which I found out quickly is a special kind of hell when your body feels exhausted like that. First 2 were great, middle 2 sucked. Last one, I felt my soul leave my body on that treadmill, and that's what I want to talk about, right? I say all that because something amidst the chaos happened that I didn't even notice at the time. But we got some footage of the workout, and watching it back after, it brought me to tears. Here's the clip.
16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Stand up, buddy. Stand up. Walk that off. Walk that off. Walk that off. Stand up. Walk it off. Stand up. Do not go over. Do not go over. Stand up. Yeah. Take a lap. Take a lap.
So you probably noticed him repeatedly telling me to stand up, right? Over and over. I was maxed out, right? Total body shutdown. And I wanted to, my instinct was to lay down or lean on something. Pretty normal. And he's kind of following me. And he's not saying, hey, you're so special, buddy. Or, wow, good for you. That was hard. Which is probably what my ego wanted to hear. But nope. He told me what I needed to hear, which was stand the hell up. This is about more than simply getting through a workout. It's about how you get through it. Compose yourself. Pick your head up. Act like you've been there before. See, we all have these moments. Sure, sometimes in the gym or when we're physically exerting ourselves, but I think most of the time outside the weight room. Because this is life, and life is hard. Life demands a lot of us. It hurts. And this was a reminder that not only are you capable of overcoming, you're strong enough to stand tall in the face of all that's before you. And I know how rare these reminders are. they don't come every day, right? It's almost like the stars have to align. They have to be presented at the perfect time, you know, for it to resonate with you. You have to be willing to hear it. And that was so powerful for me, I wanted to send that your way. Just in case you're in a spot where you're pushing, where you are fighting like hell, and it feels like gravity's forcing you to the ground. I want to be that voice in your ear, the one that tells you, I know this sucks. And I know you have every reason to fall to your knees, but stand up. Because you can. Because you're strong enough to do that. And if you have to give yourself a minute, do it. Take time to sit with it, process it, think and feel. Take that breath and stand tall. Proud of who you are, what you've done, all that you've overcome. See, life is not about running from things, it's about facing them. That day was a powerful reminder that how you face them matters just as much. Do you trust yourself? Are you confident enough in your own 2 feet to carry you through? Are you existing? Or are you putting an exclamation point on the moment? The exclamation point that the moment deserves, that your progress deserves, that you deserve. Because this moment is yours. And no, the goal is not perfection. It can't be. It never will be. The goal is to take the road that few are willing to take, to find gratitude in the suffering to which that journey is necessarily linked. Again, life is hard. The best life has to offer is even harder. But the only thing that trumps all that is the resilience of the human spirit, a willingness to endure, to face what's before you with courage. And so for the final time, I will remind you to find it within yourself to stand up, to lock in, to set free the greatness within you. You might be tired, weak, sad, hurting, operating at 40% capacity, dealing with setbacks, disappointment, loss. My friend, stand up. It's not only what you do, it's who you are. What's up, guys? Eddie here. And before we jump into the next chapter, just a quick note. So, as many of you know, every single video that I've ever put on this channel has been created with the intent of building momentum in your life. If you want something physical to anchor that momentum, we've created the brand AGNS, or Always Grateful, Never Satisfied, for that exact reason. Athletic apparel that embodies the very ideas and concepts I talk about every day. Because you're watching on YouTube or Spotify, we've created a code for this exclusive community, YWW20. You can use that on the website, agns.lifestyle, or right under this video on YouTube. All the stuff is there in the shop. Again, code YWW20 gets you 20% off the entire store. It's a great way to support the channel and also elevate your journey. Let it be a reminder to keep showing up. Appreciate your time. Always grateful, never satisfied. On to the next. Nothing is ever broken beyond repair. Nothing's too far gone to be rectified or optimized. The question is whether you're willing to identify the requirements to fix it and then intentionally walk down that path of recreation. Matthew McConaughey said, "Life is not fair. It never was. It isn't now, and it won't ever be. Don't fall into the trap, the entitlement trap of feeling like you're a victim. You are not. Don't ever think your situation, no matter how dire, cannot be remedied, can't be fixed, adjusted, that it's not a stepping stone to something beautiful. You always have that control. Always. I'm going to use the body as an example again. Not because I think physical fitness is the only thing, but because I think it is the perfect metaphor for life. I think if we understand physical resilience, grit, and persistence, we can handle anything the external world presents to us. I can't even articulate how at one point I was 1000% convinced, I was positive that I'd never be able to lift weights overhead again. My shoulders were just that bad. But chiropractors, body work, stretching, nutrition, supplements, sauna, all these things, in over a year since that journey began, I'm seeing progress like I've never imagined. Despite the occasional flare-ups and injuries from time to time, but that's, we'll chalk it up as life. I'll never forget my buddy saying to me, dude, you're not special. This isn't an Eddie curse. Millions of people have shoulder issues all over the world. Just do what you need to do to fix it. Or a similar conversation talking with my bodywork specialist, Shazzy. She's incredible. And just the confidence and reassurance to be like, oh, okay, your back hurts when you breathe. Roger that. Let's move a few things around. Let's get some blood flow to the aggravated spots. You'll be up and running in no time. When you're in these little valleys, you start thinking they're forever. When in actuality, they're a minor setback. You work on it until it's resolved, and maybe it's 95% resolved or 80% resolved, whatever, fine. But you can get to a place where it's manageable, where you can work around it. My friend and one of my fitness coaches, Justin, said, keep taking the supplements. Stay on your vitamins, keep walking, keep doing your plunging, your sauna, because when this turns around, and it will, if you maintain, you'll feel like you're shot out of a cannon. It'll be way easier to get back into rhythm. And just that reframing of, the temporary nature of what I'm going through, looking at it as truly a bridge to the other side, is everything. That's what was so powerful, the implication that this, just like anything else, is a storm, and all storms pass. So prepare yourself for the sunny skies, even amidst the chaos. And the idea is the same thing here goes with business. It goes with the arguments or the times we fall out with loved ones. It goes with creating or sharing your art on social media and not getting that positive reaction right away. It goes with feeling stuck in your career. The dead end. But everything is fixable. Momentum is always one move away, even when we don't know exactly what the answer is. Because one step away from the wrong thing starts the journey. Moving away from where you shouldn't be opens up space for new story, a new reality to take shape. In nature, forest fires seem like utter destruction, right? But ecologists know that many forests need the fire. That heat cracks open pine cones, seeds sprout, and the land is reborn greener and more vibrant than ever before. Fire doesn't destroy. It creates new conditions for growth. Even though from the outside in, something about that process just seems innately sad, disturbing even. So much beauty gone, so much change taken away, never to be the same. But in death, forged by flames, life creates space for the next chapter. Now, I've been in that spot plenty of times, where you can only see the ashes and smoke. You can only feel the gaps in your life, the overwhelm. I know that pain. But I think the prospect that your turbulence is a forever thing is what hurts most. The pain of thinking about the delta between your current situation and the ideal, holding on to what's gone or missing. That spot is where the pain is. It's why understanding the power of moving in the right direction is everything. It's why when you know there's a solution, even when it's not resting in the palm of your hand, that is enough. Enough to begin, enough to initiate change. The phoenix is a mythical bird that dies in a burst of flames and is reborn from its ashes. It symbolizes regeneration and transformation, pointing to the truth that nothing is ever really lost. It's simply a precursor to rebirth. Everything is setting you up for the solution. Everything. So when you look around and see that combination of immobility and despair, I need you to remember, you're one step away from a new reality entirely, from transcending the ashes around you and moving higher than you've ever been. You are not stuck or chained or tied to what was. No, the world is yours to build anew. If you can't see the path now, if it doesn't make sense, fine, just go. Let the answers materialize as you walk the path before you. Because in this world, everything, and I mean everything, is fixable. He wasn't handed excellence. No silver spoons, no guarantees, no headlines written about his birth. No, he wasn't born into the record books. He wasn't carved into marble before he ever took a breath. He was an ordinary person. And that's what makes his story so sacred. Because when you peel back the layers, when you turn down the volume of the world and listen close, you hear something remarkable. You hear self-belief. He believed himself capable of extraordinary things. Not because he was instructed to, not because the world applauded. He simply decided it would be so. And that decision, that seemingly trivial, insignificant decision, it changed everything. You see, most people stand on the edge of their potential looking out. Yeah, they can see the horizon, but they let fear talk them down. They carry the weight of every doubt, every voice that ever whispered, "You can't." But not him. He was crazy enough to believe it was possible. And that kind of belief, well, it's dangerous. It upends the status quo. It questions what's deemed realistic. It burns the rulebook and rewrites the story. To believe in the face of failure, to bet on yourself when there's no applause, no confirmation, that's where legends are born. Because belief is the inflection point. It's where it all begins. And so he showed up every day, and I mean every single day. Not just when it was convenient, not when he felt inspired, but when the world was heavy, when the journey felt uphill, when no one was watching and the world screamed quit, when he woke up tired and lost and beaten down, He showed up. He ran through storms others simply refused to walk in. He climbed hills most people complained about from the base. He kept going, knowing that it wasn't easy, but that the meaningful things, well, they rarely were. He knew that extraordinary doesn't announce itself. It doesn't show up with lights and music and buzz and hype. It's quiet. It's disguised in discomfort, hidden in sacrifice. It's earned. One decision at a time, one step forward into the night. Every scar became a sentence in his story. Every setback a setup for something greater. He didn't run from the pain. And believe me, there are days where he wanted to. But he stood firm, he stood tall, and found within the chaos wisdom. Within the nothingness, value. Within the void, the path. And when the world questioned him, when they rolled their eyes, when they asked, "Who do you think you are?" he answered, rarely with words, but with movement, with progress, determination, with grit, with fire. Because he didn't need their permission. He'd given that to himself long ago. So when you look at his journey, know this. You're not different in your potential. You're different in your belief. Your moment won't come wrapped in clarity or applause. There won't be lights or a grandiose celebration. It will merely whisper, "Go." When you're afraid, when you're tired, when the odds don't favor you, and your only job in that moment is to be crazy enough to believe that it's possible. That's it. Not leap a mountain, not traverse an ocean. Believe that it's possible. To show up when something deep inside wants to let go and hide. To speak when silence feels safer. To try again when failure is the only thing you've known for what seems like years. And to do so, not because the world promised you anything in return. No, we get no guarantees in this game, none. But because something inside you whispered, "This is who I am." So yeah, he was ordinary. But he believed himself capable of extraordinary things. And now he is the proof that the impossible bends for those willing to believe they belong in the arena. And my friends, not someday. Not when it's perfect. It will never be perfect. Now. Here. Today. In this moment. Be crazy enough to believe yourself capable of extraordinary extraordinary things. Greatness is not this wonderful, esoteric, elusive, godlike feature that only the special among us will ever taste. It's something that truly exists in all of us. That's a quote by Will Smith, who's had his ups and downs and everything in between, but funny enough, that just makes his message more integral to the theme here. Everyone has the opportunity to reach out and touch greatness. I believe that with all my heart. Which begs the question then, why do so few ever cross that threshold? Well, check this out. Building something meaningful, in my mind, is the same thing as a run uphill. It can be lonely, exhausting. You see nothing but the dirt road in front of you. It's bleak, very bleak. Until you reach the summit and are gifted a view so stunning that you're reminded why you hung in to begin with, why you battled every step, the sun, the sweat, your beating heart, your body screaming to stop. The visuals go from dirt to stunning 360-degree sunset mountain views in what seems like an instant. But how many hold on until that moment occurs? See, it's a decision, not divine intervention. When you feel like letting go, it's not that life has let you down. It's that you've not yet reached the summit that will act as your on switch. Life is darkest before dawn for a reason. You have to really want those things you say you do, as destiny is both an extended hand and a gatekeeper of sorts. I was recently talking to a friend of mine, in the middle of building a company. It's been a journey. And right now, he's in that so-called valley of despair. He is running directly uphill. He's had a few promising, life-changing deals in the palm of his hand that fell apart at the 1-yard line, right? It's like he's there. He's so close. But look, it doesn't matter how mentally tough you are. Practicality always comes knocking at the door. How long can you sustain this? It will whisper. You have a wife and children. Are you being reckless? What will your family think? What will your friends think? This is too lonely. You're having panic attacks. You're sick with stress. And he's telling me all this, and I'm like, preach, man. Like, I know the feeling. Then he said something that cut through me. He goes, Eddie, why is it that when you need people to be there for you the most, they're nowhere to be found? When you're at your lowest, and support and love and reassurance would be worth more than gold. When all you want is to be told everything will be fine, why is there silence? And the pain in his voice, it almost made me choke up. You can tell he's just fighting demons. And my God, isn't that the truth? Right? The greatest victories are attached to the loneliest of times. How often do we hear, don't stop, believe in yourself, keep going? All critical messages. But without the context, what's their value? Why? Why do they matter to begin with? Well, because bringing things into the world before they exist is excruciatingly lonely. No one understands your vision. And the curveball is, it's not their fault. How could they? The frustration of being the only one who understands is the cost of admission. Don't stop. Why? Because every ounce of rationality in your body knows this feels like beating your head against a wall, and it wants to mitigate pain. Who cares about the long term? Believe in yourself. Why? Because waking up morning after morning with what seems like nothing to show for your time and energy and sacrifice is a devastation few will ever get. Keep going. Why? Because every off-ramp starts to look like its own little paradise. Old ways of living, safe jobs, routines, and patterns, they cry out for you to return. That's why we manufacture belief. Not because it's cool to write mantras in Sharpie on the bathroom mirror. It's not an Instagram play. It's because if you are not there for yourself, if you lose sight of your why, life merely collapses around you. Period. If you don't green light each day with the top of the mountain in mind, it's over. And man, I just sat there with it for a second. After a few seconds go by, responded, you have to depersonalize this because it's not about you. And what an odd thing to say, right? A friend of mine going through it. But hear me out. People only believe what they see, even people close to us. And if someone walked up to me with no proof of anything and said, Eddie, I have a $10 million business in my head, which funny enough happens more than you might think, you can't do anything but smile and say, hell yeah, go get them. Right? Because every innovation starts out as a concept. But the reality, as we all know, concepts don't put money in the bank. It's not about you. It speaks to human nature. This is what building something feels like. Oh, and remember, when you connect the dots, when things start taking off, and my friend, if you hang in there, they will, many of those same people will be right back beside you, like nothing ever happened. Like they just fast forwarded through the hell you walked through, and instinctively, maybe you'll take that personally. It will feel cheap and fake and annoying. But again, it's how the story goes. It's life in the big city. The ones who are actually there through thick and thin, which I'm sure you can count on one hand if they exist at all, they're the exception, not the rule. They are worth more than gold. Everyone else are just humans being humans. This is your transformation. It's your undertaking. This gauntlet, my friend, is for you and you alone. I had someone recently help me out with the channel, right? Make some thumbnails, which is the little picture you click to watch a video. And the idea is you make them and then you test them against thumbnails that already exist, like book covers. Which ones incline people to click, right? And the vast majority of the ones he made, quote unquote, lost. They underperformed compared to the thumbnails that were already existing on the channel. And he's like, man, I spent half a day on this. This is devastating. I feel like a loser, like I'm wasting my time. And I'm like, brother, try 7 years of this stuff, right? It's not personal. Nothing works until it does. This is the cost. You move forward relentlessly until something hits. See, I've walked down that road, and not because I'm a hero or a badass for continuing on. Anyone can. But that's the thing, anyone can. And there are days where I wake up numb and sad and frustrated, you bet. Where I become disillusioned, where things aren't happening fast enough. But what do? You collect yourself. You remember how incredible it is to get to be doing this to begin with. To be adding value to amazing people all over the world with unrealized dreams and untapped potential. You tell yourself that it could theoretically all end today if I wanted to. Could go back to something safer and easier. I'm not in prison. But I'm choosing this. Trading comfort for impact, for upside. When I'm in those so-called valleys of despair, I remember why I signed up. The category of greatness I'm aiming for. You think that's free or easy? No, life is trade-offs. The best things find themselves attached to the highest price tags. Never forget that. So when you find yourself in those moments, I need you to grapple for perspective. I heard Hormozi recently describe these moments as the inflection point that would drive most away. Right? He says when he feels like that, he reminds himself most people wouldn't endure or sustain this. Most people pack it up right here. They don't want the stress or anxiety or uncertainty. So congrats, you were just gifted an opportunity. Make the decision to be different. We started with the Will Smith quote, so let's end with one. He says, make a choice of what you want, who you want to be, and how you're going to do it. The universe will get out of your way. So once you decide, commit, advance relentlessly. Sure, you're signing up for responsibility. You're signing up for chaos, for unknowns, but once you decide, you're also signing up for the greatest adventure of your life. And given those options, I'll take the upside. I'll take the possibility. I'll take the hill.